You. Let me make sure everything is what it is. Make sure everything is what it is. All right. Set this John up. Notes, what's going on, baby? Just setting things up. I don't know what the fuck going on. Or what's going on? All right. This is it. Can you hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Already got 3 viewers in here. Mazuma Nation, definitely. Yeah. I like how they saved the banner for me. That's dope. Yep. What's going on, y'all? This is Mazuma TV. Back in the building, man. We back in the building. We live, baby. We live. Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We back in the building, man. Let's get this LED popping a little bit. Hold on. Oh shit! God damn. Hold on, let me dim that shit a little bit. That shit a little crazy right now. Shit got me seeing floaters a little there. All right. What's going on, y'all? I put out a couple videos earlier. No, actually one. Only put out one video discussing Floyd Mayweather's comments towards Naoya Inoue and Gervonta Davis. I thought that was pretty interesting. Every time Floyd get on, it's pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? Donnell Jenkins, what's going on? Sergio, what's going on? Every time he get on, you know what I mean? Besides when he talk about himself a lot, man, like he does say some funny shit. You know what I mean? Floyd is just an overall. He's just one of them dudes that he funny without trying to be. You know what I'm saying? So definitely was. And he's like, and it's like an arrogant kind of funny. Like he's so confident in himself and his abilities with boxing and stuff like that. That he'll say something like in the most confident way possible, and it just come across funny. So you know, he was definitely making some. You gotta with Floyd, he's not gonna say too many things directly, so you really gotta read him between the lines when he's talking. You know what I'm saying? And he was definitely, you could tell by what he was saying that you could definitely say that he's suspicious about Naoya Inoue's performances. And like I said on my previous video, shout out to Southpaw TV for sharing this. You could tell that he was suspicious from Naoya Inoue's performances, especially against Stephen Fulton. You got to understand, bro. Naoya Inoue started at what, 105, 108 pounds. You know what I mean? So he started at the smallest, one of the smallest weight classes possible, and he dominated. 108, went up to 112, went up to 115, 118, 122. That range from 105, 108 to 122 is a big difference. Bigger guys, they punching harder, they stronger physically. And it's like, all right, he struggled with Nonito Donaire a little bit, but Stephen Fulton, even though, I mean, he proved me wrong, he beat him, I give him his credit for that. That's no doubt. You know what I'm saying? I thought the skills were going to pay the bills, and Inoue showed that his skills were superior that night, you know what I mean, along with his power. It's like the way he was able to just dispose of Stephen Fulton so easily definitely raised my eyebrows a little bit. We could chalk it up to him just being that naturally gifted. We could chop it up to him just being some type of phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, but definitely got me scratching my head a little bit. And I'm going to just leave it like that. I can't prove anything, so I'm not going to just jump out the window, you know what I'm saying, and say some crazy shit. I like to stick to the facts and what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like Dillian White, that's a fucking cheater. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking cheater. That I could jump out. I could jump out here and be like, yo, he's a fucking cheater. You know what I mean? And there ain't no doubt about that. Donnell said it's the Japanese water. Man, I don't know what it is, but that man is going up in weight and he's making it look easy. And what's crazy is usually when guys move up in weight, they usually slow down a little bit or their power is not as devastating. It's like now you anyway, as much as he's moving up, it's like nothing is being taken away from him. His speed remains the same. His foot speed remains the same. No type of being sluggish or still explosive, fast twitch muscles. Just everything just still on point despite him moving up in weight so much. And it's like, you know, if he goes up to 26, 130, is he still going to have those same attributes? If he does, then I'm definitely going to be suspicious. You know what I mean? LMT notes. AJ disappointed with Helenius. Well, I mean, this wouldn't have happened. I was disappointed with Dillian White getting a rematch with Anthony Joshua, in all honesty. You know what I mean? And when you got to take into consideration that the last time Anthony Joshua took a last-minute fight, it was against Andy Ruiz, and he lost. So, with that being considered, I think they're gonna be real careful with them picking. You know what I mean? They're gonna be real strategic with who they pick on a late notice, because when they did that with Andy, they got stopped. You know what I mean? So they being real cautious about it. They're gonna take Robert Helenius, who was a victim of a first-round knockout against Deontay Wilder. He claimed retirement directly after the fight. So has this man been training, or they just picked him up off the couch? I don't know. Maybe he's remaining being a sparring partner for these guys. Maybe he's staying active in the gym. But last time I heard, after he got knocked out by Wilder, he saluted Wilder. He was happy for the payday that he got for Wilder, and then he said he was retiring. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Southpaw in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, yo, Mark is the truth. Yo, I appreciate that, homie. You the truth, too. Oh, shit. Hold up. Damn. Hold up. Technical difficulties. Shit. I don't know what's going on. I got to find out how to work this shit. See, talking to Southpaw, got my shit all falling over and shit, man. What the fuck going on? Well, anyway, I'm just trying to scroll through these comments. That's all I'm trying to do. I was disappointed with Dillian White. You know what I mean? Like, Dillian White don't deserve an Anthony Joshua fight. This man done got knocked out by Povetkin that had shitty performances against dudes that ended up he test positive and still was putting on shitty ass performances against Derek Chisora, against Povetkin. Even that one dude that he had fought, I forgot his name. That he tested positive against. He didn't look that good with him neither. He ended up getting dropped and all. You know what I mean? That's just me though. I think Gervonta would drop him. We talking about styles. Yeah, I think that's a little bit too much of a step up for anyway, and I think he'll get hurt against Gervonta Davis. He's too big. He's too big of a puncher. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that size definitely gonna play a part. Southpaw says, I want Ruiz 3. Shit, that'd be a good John. That'd be a good John. But I doubt they'll take that. They got their win in that last fight and they gonna run with it. They not gonna run that back. I highly doubt that. Eddie Hearn trying to preserve AJ as long as he can so he could cash him out. I still haven't seen him fight yet. If I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's the digging sushi. Nah. I think you're talking about anyway. Nah, that's funny as hell though. Don't ever tripping. Trilogy Ruiz. Yeah, I like that. AJ soft as hell. Hey, yo, shrimp fry right in the way. Yo, Southpaw is fucking crazy, bro. That man is insane. Nah, but for real though. Yeah, anyway, definitely his performances definitely got me scratching my head because it reminds me of when Pacquiao was running through these dudes in these weight classes. Like, I was a young dude. Even at that time, I wasn't as experienced. I didn't know what I know now. You know what I'm saying? But even at that time, I was like, yo, how is this smaller dude just running through these bigger guys like that? Because you got to understand, like, Antonio Margarito, bro, that dude was fucking huge, man. Like, he was a big 147, 154. You know what I mean? With hella pressure, he could break you down, good body shots, good power punches. Despite the cheating and all that, I'm just speaking from a stylistic standpoint. He was like everything wrong for Pacquiao, and Pacquiao just bulldozed him, broke his eye socket, and his eye was never the same after that. He had trouble the rest of his career with that. Even Cotto ended up breaking it afterwards. Um, Shane Mosley got some of the like best, like one of the best chins like of all time. And Pacquiao dropped him. And I'm like, yo, I've seen Cotto hit Shane Mosley flush on the chin. He didn't even move. He didn't even blink. I seen Oscar De La Hoya hit him with one of his left hooks. He didn't even blink. Pacquiao coming up from the weight classes that he came from, those smaller weight classes, was able to hurt Shane Mosley and drop him. You know what I'm saying? Like even, and I'm sorry if this is offending any Pacquiao fans. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what's going through my mind. You know what I mean? We never proved Pacquiao was a steroid cheat, so I mean this is all just speculation. Um, what else? He fought Miguel Cotto, bro. Miguel Cotto was a big puncher, bro. From 140 all the way up to 154, even carried his power up to 160. He's a small dude, but he had a hell of a lot of crack. Like Paulie Malignaggi could tell you about it. Zab Judah could tell you about it. Even Floyd could tell you about it. Like Floyd said that their hands felt like cement. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Floyd doing a prediction on Canelo and Cotto, and he was like, "Yo, that fight not gonna go to distance." Like even though it did, he was like, "Yo, this fight not gonna go to distance." Like he mentioned Cotto along with Canelo. He said, "Bro, them dudes hit hard, bro. Like they like cement." You know what I'm saying? And with him saying that, that's a lot of praise coming from somebody like Floyd. And I believe that Cotto busted Pacquiao eardrum. And he continued fighting. Like I've seen people with broken eardrums. I broke somebody's eardrum in sparring back when I was like 18 years old. This Asian kid that I was sparring. I busted his eardrum with a hook, and his equilibrium was gone. He wasn't hurt, but the fact that his eardrum was busted, it was like it threw off his whole equilibrium. I've seen this happen with Deontay Wilder. He broke his eardrum against Fury. His equilibrium wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen this on multiple occasions happen. I've seen this girl who was a track star one time. She had like a real bad like sinus infection, and I guess from all that pressure from running and running and running, busted her eardrum, and she had trouble maintaining her balance and keeping herself up. These things happen, but Pacquiao broke his eardrum with a hook by Cotto. He went to the hospital right after the fight. You could look this up, and wasn't affected at all. So like it was like for that short period of time before the random blood and urine testing came about, Pacquiao looked like superhuman. And I just found it funny that once they started bringing up the whole random blood and urine testing, Pacquiao had trouble getting knockouts after that. Pacquiao had a lot of trouble getting knockouts after that. And then when he fought Matisse out in like, I don't know where the hell he fought him at. I don't know. It wasn't in the States though. All of a sudden, like his aggression came back, and he started looking like the old him. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Lucas Matisse, he was folding. The aggression, the killer instinct was there. You know what I'm saying? And then when he came back to the States, like he was hurting dudes and stuff like that, but he wasn't getting these like highlight reel knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't really doing that. You know what I mean? Like his power like diminished in a way. It wasn't the same. His speed wasn't the same. His aggression wasn't the same. His killer instinct wasn't the same. And I just find that weird because the last thing that leave as you get older is your power. And if you got a killer instinct, that shit don't go nowhere. So, you know what I mean? Like Tyson, like 50 something, close to 60 years old now. And if it's time to kill something, he gonna go eat. Did you see Floyd saying he wants to work with Ryan if he leaves Golden Boy? I saw the interview. I did not click on it. But I mean, who wouldn't? Like, you got to think about this. Like, Floyd's a businessman, right? He's one of the best businessmen / boxers of all time, right? Probably the most successful businessman, the most successful boxer turned businessman in the sports history, right? They say he made over $1 billion. Why wouldn't he want to work with Ryan Garcia? Like, is Ryan Garcia the most skilled fighter? No, right? That's not what we talking about. But this kid has a lot of star qualities. Whether you go to his social media, whether you go to his personality, he's outspoken. He like to talk that talk. And before Gervonta Davis, he was walking that walk. You know what I mean? He got power. He's been in some exciting fights. You know what I mean? He's shown that he wants to be great. He's taking these risks, and he has a huge. I think it's more that he's just have a huge following. So when you got a huge following, and you got somebody like Floyd who could boost you up, and you once you get that stint from Floyd, it's like your stock just rises. You know what I'm saying? So I think he understands that he could potentially make a lot of money with Ryan Garcia. They all know that. You know what I'm saying? Like they all know they can make a lot of money from Ryan Garcia. Why wouldn't he want to work with him? It would be kind of weird if he didn't want to work with him. But you know what I mean? From a legal standpoint, he did say at the end, he was like, but only if he's free. You know what I'm saying? Because if we jump out the window and say, yeah, I'm working with him, Oscar gonna be quick to throw a lawsuit out there, and that's gonna be a whole nother situation he's not trying to get into. Floyd smart, he's not dumb at all. Shit, if I was a promoter and I had like people to, if I had like a small little roster to put together, if I had like a good 10 guys to represent my promotional company in today's era, I'll definitely throw Ryan in the mix. He gonna bring that crowd out. He gonna talk that talk. He gonna make these fights big, especially on social media. He gonna attract the casual fans, and casual fans bring money to the table. Not only hardcore fans, but when you get the hardcore fans and the casual boxing fans together in one setting to watch a fight, you're talking millions of dollars. Matthew 926. He said, "What up, Mark? What's going on? What's going on? Hope everything is well." Ryan is more dangerous now that he got that loss out the way. That's a fact, though. I think that really opened his eyes, and it made him really realize, like where he needs to get to. You know what I'm saying? I think that loss made him realize that he can't do this stuff by himself. Because they said when he was with Joe Goose, and he was training the majority of the time by himself. He was taking a lot of training by himself. He was teaching himself. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Goosen was just letting him rock, do whatever he want, as long as he's got his little paycheck. You know what I mean? Which I thought that was kind of corny, because it's like, if you got that responsibility as a trainer, bro, you got to be on the ass, bro. Like, you got to follow this regimen. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, some people would just sit down and stay quiet as long as they get that check. But if you got a real trainer in your corner, they're not going to worry about that shit, bro, because you got to understand, each win and loss that you get as a trainer affects your reputation. Like, look what they doing with Derrick James right now. Like, Derrick James, it was just calling him the best trainer in the world. He got all these different awards and all this stuff. Earl Spence takes a loss. Derrick James is trash, man. Well, what kind of game plan did he have? What did he do? Nah, bro. Derrick James is still one of the best trainers in boxing, if not the best trainer. You know what I mean? And it just sucks that, you know what I mean, that he has to deal with that. And it made Joe Goosen look bad. It definitely made Joe Goosen look bad after that loss. He knew about Ryan's apparent rib injury. For what I understand, I did not see him at the post-fight press conference. If there was a mole in his camp, why you not controlling who's in and out of these camps? You know what I mean? Like, you got to have trustworthy people around your fighters, especially when you at an elite level like that. Tank should have known that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just what I think about that situation, man. That's definitely going to make Ryan a better fighter, a smarter fighter. And it's really going to help him lock in. Like, sometimes people be needing that loss to get to that next level. If you winning against minimal competition, is minimal learning. At a professional level, if I'm building a fighter up, man, I want him to learn as much as possible so he could evolve and become more seasoned as a fighter. So when he gets to that contender level, when he gets to that world title level, he'll be more than ready. If you're knocking out all these tomato cans and you fighting all these inexperienced dudes who are not going to provide any type of obstacles for you, when you get to the elite level, you assed out, bro. And I think that's what happened with Ryan Garcia. I think he was a little too overly confident. You know what I mean? He didn't face any adversity in his career besides that knockdown against Luke Campbell. But after that, Luke Campbell didn't really provide any resistance after that. So like, all right, you just brush that off and just keep going. You know what I'm saying? And when he went up there against somebody who was as skilled and dangerous as Tank Davis, He had no prior preparation for this. He didn't even take a tune-up or nothing. Can y'all hear me? My bad. I got an alarm. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Um, Let me see. I don't want to talk to myself if y'all can't hear me. I don't want to talk if y'all can't hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Last John, I seen his notes. He said facts. Let me know if y'all can hear me. There's 8 people in the building. So let me know. All right, cool. Notes, let me know that y'all can hear me. But all right, so yeah, man, some people need that loss to get better. You know what I mean? A tough win you can learn a lot from. You can also learn a lot from a loss. And it's like, I know Floyd had a perfect career, so a lot of people was trying to follow in his footsteps, but it's like not everybody Floyd. You know what I mean? Not everybody gonna have that type of career like Andre Ward, Floyd, what have you. So especially if you consistently fighting the best, it might come to a point in time where that guy that you facing at an elite level might have your card that night. It's very possible. You know what I mean? But we really need to throw away the stigma that because somebody got a loss that they ass or they are exposed or corny. That's why a lot of these top dudes don't want to fight each other because they know that it's a probability they might take an L, and then they go on social media and see themselves getting bashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want to deal with that, bro. Like, no, like I'm sure they're not afraid of fighting each other. There's some scary dudes out here. Don't get it wrong, but I'm sure that they'll be a lot more willing to fight if they knew that they was gonna get some type of respect after the fight. You know what I mean? Like Wilder became a meme. You know what I mean? Like he took on Tyson Fury, bro. Tyson Fury's like him and Usyk are the best heavyweights in the world right now. Y'all made Earl Spencer mean, bro. Y'all over here making fun of this man, and it's like, bro, he took a chance to be great. He went against the pound for pound #1 guy in the world for everything on the table, for all the jewelry, bro. You gotta respect that because he easily could have fell back and like, oh man, he on the other side of the street. I'm moving on to 54, and we gonna get this money up there. It could have completely left us out of a fight that we've been craving for years. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, man. I think it's sad that these fighters gotta really be hesitant to take certain fights because they know it's a chance that if they lose, they be catching all this type of criticism. And it's just like, bro, just commend this man. Like, if y'all have criticisms on what they could feel like they could do better, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing. But if y'all going on here talking about the fighter's corny and he's overhyped and all this stuff, you know what I mean? It's like that's not necessary. That's really not necessary. Y'all ain't hear me going on here talking crazy about Earl Spence. Like, bro, I'm in the boxing world. I understand. Like, I have a few amateur guys that stepped up in competition and they won. Then I've had other guys who stepped up in competition and lost. Like, but they learned from it. You know what I'm saying? And I show them the same type of love whether they take their wins or when they take their losses. I show them the same type of love. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how the boxing fans gotta come together to show these guys respect. You be surprised with some love and respect will do to a fighter. You know what I mean? They'll make them a lot more motivated, make them a lot more willing to take these chances. You know what I mean? But that's just me at the end of the day. This is my perspective. People gonna do what they want. You know what I mean? It is what it is. LMT No said could have easily went to 54. That's a fact. He could have easily went up there and pursued a fight with Jermell Charlo, even though that's his stablemate. He could have really pursued that and try to go for undisputed there. You know what I mean? It seemed like he was about to go in that direction before they sat down and they spoke again. You know what I mean? Like that man sat down for a year and some change because he was so hell bent on making that fight happen. Gotta respect that man, bro. He took some time off of his career to make sure that this fight happened. You know what I mean? A legacy defining fight. And even though he came up short, that man did not quit. He did not go out on his back. That man went out standing. You know what I mean? He gave it everything he had. He was outmatched that night, still did what he had to do. You know what I mean? He still stood 10 toes down and he took that punishment, man. Not only for the legacy, defining fights and stuff like that, he did it for y'all. A lot of y'all gotta be y'all gotta be appreciative of that. That's just my opinion though. What was Yup, that's exactly what I wanted to get into. That's exactly what I was about to segue into. Speaking of legacy defining fights, big fights, man, 2023 just keeps giving with these big fights. You know what I mean? It's not officially announced yet. It's a rumor going around that they're finalizing it. So that means that they're starting to really get to, you know what I mean, to the nitty gritty. They're about to start, they're about to put out an announcement soon if everything goes well towards the end of these negotiations. David Benavidez is going up against Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. That is a hell of a fight. If you guys, because I got videos from 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? When I was a young kid and I was really like starting to pursue this boxing report and stuff before I fell off and really started getting involved with the training aspect of boxing. I was always a huge fan of Demetrius Andrade, but was always upset that he was never given those big fights. You know what I mean? He was never given those big fights, and it was upsetting. You know what I mean? I think some of that has to do with fighters avoiding him because they understood that he wasn't the biggest name and he was a dangerous opponent, high risk, low reward. They wasn't willing to go in his direction, and I think a little bit of that also has to do with the bad business moves that he made in the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? And those things could happen. Like Andre Ward was a victim to that. You know what I mean? Where he had to sit on the shelf and fight these lawsuits against certain promoters and stuff like that. It went a little bit under the radar, but Boots Ennis went through that with a guy who claimed he was his promoter. Mikey Garcia went through it. He had to sit down a couple years when he was going through it with Top Rank. Like, these things happen, bro. These things happen. You can make a business move that you end up regretting. Then you got to end up fighting it out outside of the ring. And I think that's what happened with Demetrius Andrade. I think that he definitely missed some opportunities. Apparently, he was supposed to fight Jermell Charlo at one point in time, and that fell through because of some bad business decision making. But we here now. You know what I'm saying? Demetrius Andrade is 3 weight classes higher than where he debuted at. He's at 100, well, 2 weight classes up, 168 pounds. And he had one fight there, and he did his thing. You know what I mean? He definitely did his thing. You could tell that. Yeah, I mean, he realized it was pretty strong up there. He got hit with a jab and it snapped his head back. So hopefully, going up against David Benavidez, he's a little bit sharper with his defense. But he is a legitimate threat for David Benavidez. I don't know if I could recall the last. I could be wrong. When was the last southpaw that David Benavidez fought? You know what I'm saying? I can't recall the last southpaw that he fought. If y'all guys know, just leave it in the comments for me. But this is gonna be a difficult fight for Demetrius. Because this is a difficult fight for Demetrius as well. But I'm specifically speaking on right now. This is a difficult fight for David Benavidez, and I say that because this is a dangerous southpaw in Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying? He has great boxing ability. He has great hand speed. He could be awkward at times. He could throw certain shots from angles that you're not used to seeing. It's definitely not these not conventional punches that he throws at times. He has a killer instinct. He's a solid finisher, and he has some dynamite in that left hand, man. He got some power. He got some power, and when he lets his hands go, it's a beautiful thing to see. You know what I mean? Demetrius Andrade is an undefeated guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the deepest resume, but everybody that he's gotten in there with, he's defeated. So we got to respect that man, and he's a 2 weight class world champion at the end of the day. So, that's just what it is. And he's been in the game for a while now. I think he's been pro for a little over a decade. David Benavidez is a young guy. And Demetrius Andrade was an accomplished amateur as well. So I definitely think the odds, I don't think the odds are stacked against David Benavidez, but this might be his toughest fight to date. You know what I'm saying? I think that he could potentially be more dangerous than Caleb Plant. I think he has more pop than Caleb Plant. I think that he might be. It might be a toss-up in the skills department, but I think I'm gonna say Demetrius Andrade is more explosive. I think he has more pop than Caleb Plant. I think he's gonna be a tougher obstacle. You know what I mean? I never really seen the man really fatigued like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen Caleb Plant fatigued in a few different fights, you know what I mean? But I haven't really seen too much bad body language from Demetrius Andrade. But maybe that's because he hasn't dealt with a pressure fighter like David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? This is a huge fight for both of these guys. If Demetrius Andrade is able to pull this off against David Benavidez, then that will put him in line to face a Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? He'll be the WBC interim champ. And I believe in March, they'll be mandating the WBC interim champ to face Canelo. And Canelo has a 3-fight deal with the PBC, and Demetrius Andrade has been doing business with Showtime and PBC. You know what I mean? Especially in their last fight against Demond Nicholson. So that'll put him in line. Will Canelo take it? I have doubts, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect him to fight Jermell Charlo, and he did. So there's that. If David Benavidez beats Demetrius Andrade, then that just raised his stock even higher. It'll just really go to show that this man is taking on all challenges. He's fought some difficult opponents, and he's found ways to defeat them. You know what I mean? I would have to see. I'm going to have to wait this out a little bit. Hopefully this fight gets finalized and they come up with an official date. I want to see how these guys look in camp. I want to see what their mind frames are and exactly how – I just want to see how they look. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how locked in they are. There might be some trash talk going back and forth at these press conferences. You know what I mean? Demetrius Andrade is a funny guy. And Benavidez comes across as a no-nonsense type of guy. Like, he won't talk trash, but if you talk crazy, he will respond to you. I feel like he comes across that way. Similar to, like, Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? They humble, quiet dudes, but if you speak crazy to them, they definitely going to clap back. You know what I mean? Let's see this right here. Equip FC. He said Latinos can have Canelo versus Benavidez in 2023 like in Mexico, but Canelo is running. Yeah, Canelo is definitely hesitant with this David Benavidez fight. I never really seen him speak in this way about any fighter. You know what I mean? He's talking about he don't want to fight Mexicans because he represents Mexico. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't really say that because you got a history of fighting Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Like, you fought Chavez Sr.'s son, arguably the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, like they say. You fought that man's son. You fought Carlos Baldomir. You fought Josecito Lopez. You know what I'm saying? You fought Alfred Angulo. These are all Mexican guys, Mexican-American Mexican guys. So it's like, it's in your history that you fought them. So what's going on? Like, why are you suddenly just making this change up? You know what I mean? It just don't make sense to me. I think he understands that David Benavidez is a threat to him in terms of size and style. I think that style would give Canelo fits all day. Not saying that Canelo can't beat David Benavidez, but I just think from a stylistic approach, he's going to provide Canelo a lot of problems that he just don't want to deal with right now. Just keep it a buck. Canelo don't like going on the back foot. I think he will be on the back foot against David Benavidez. And Canelo is a slow starter, and his conditioning isn't the best. That's why he doesn't throw many punches. And if you force this man to throw a lot of punches, similar to Dimitri Bivol, then he's gonna have to defend himself. In the process of defending himself, he's gonna gas out between those mid rounds. And if you do that against somebody like David Benavidez, he gonna smell blood and he gonna try to get it. It's like he gets stronger every round, and Canelo is the opposite. You know what I mean? That's why he preserved his gas tank. It was beginning and mid rounds. Then he tried to drown you in the later rounds, similar to how he did to Caleb Plant and fighters along those lines. Sergey Kovalev, all that. So, yeah, man. But if they're able to make this fight, if Al Heyman is able to pull this together in this 3-fight deal to get him to fight David Benavidez, if they were to make the fight in Mexico, that shit will go insane, bro. That would be such a big fight for, like, Mexicans specifically, bro. That shit will sell out in Mexico. The pay-per-view numbers will go dumb. Oh, my God, bro. That would be a huge fight. Especially if they make that shit happen around Cinco de Mayo, Mexican Independence Day, like May, September. If they're able to do that, bro, that fight would do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. I would be convinced. That would be that's a slept-on fight, man. That's a slept-on fight for, like, I was talking about it the other day. Like, what's the next big super fight? I think I actually put a poll up on my timeline. I'm like, what's the next big super fight? And I named all these guys. I completely forgot to mention David Benavidez and Canelo. I feel like that fight would do numbers, man, like legit numbers. And because it's like, and either one who wins will be a huge statement for them. Because if Canelo beats Benavidez, I already know they're gonna approach it like, yo, this is the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. I already know they're gonna start. They're already having them conversations now regarding Canelo. But if he beats Benavidez, a young, hungry lion who's looking like a beast right now, if he beats him, they're gonna be like, oh, he's the greatest Mexican fighter ever. But if David Benavidez destroys Canelo or beats Canelo, then it's gonna look like a passing of the torch from one Mexican fighter to another. It's gonna be similar to the Oscar De La Hoya versus Chavez Sr. That's exactly how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Because Chavez was the man, and when De La Hoya beat him, he was a Mexican American, so Mexicans ain't really accept him as much. But it really was a passing of the torch of like the next big star. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be in a similar way. I honestly feel like it'll be in a similar way. It'll be a passing of the torch, and Benavidez is gonna become a star, especially in the Mexican community. They're gonna fall in love with that man. This kid just beat Canelo and he's Mexican. You know what I mean? I think that's what Canelo's afraid of. I was saying this on a previous interview I did with Southpaw a few months back. I said that he would much rather lose to somebody like Dimitri Bivol than David Benavidez, because Dimitri Bivol's a Russian. You know what I mean? So if he take that loss, they're gonna talk about it for a little bit and then disregard it. If he loses to another Mexican, the Mexican's gonna never let him hear the end of it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna hurt his pride a lot more if it's somebody of his same ethnicity defeats him. You know what I mean? Because it's not like a passing of a torch if he loses to a Russian dude. But it'll definitely look like a passing of the torch or like the beginning of a new era if he loses to a Mexican guy. He would much rather lose to somebody outside his ethnicity. I'm telling you. He don't want to take that loss, bro. That should have hurt his pride. And he don't want to go out like that. That's what I personally think. You know what I mean? I think that's the real reason behind him saying he don't want to fight other Mexicans, because he understands if he loses to a Mexican, it's gonna hurt him deep. That shit gonna hurt him right here, man. Canelo only been fighting on September and May lately. Yeah, he took over those dates that Floyd Mayweather had. Mayweather took that shit over after he beat Oscar De La Hoya. He started fighting. He started fighting every May and September, and started fighting. And he fought hella Mexican opponents: Victor Ortiz. He fought Robert Guerrero. He fought Canelo. He fought shit, and then he just fought like other Hispanic fighters like Marcos Maidana. He even fought Andre Berto, I think of September, Mexican Independence Week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he took over them dates, and Canelo was trying to take over them dates while Floyd was fighting, but Floyd wasn't having that. So after Floyd hung up the gloves, Canelo took it over. So that's what happened, for real. That's what they seem to gravitate towards. Man. They like them days. That's why Mayweather was calling that Cinco de Mayweather, because he would fight every May. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that is, man. He just took over the dates that Floyd had prior to him. But man, Andrade Benavidez, that's a great fight. That's a slept-on fight, and apparently they're gonna put that on pay-per-view. I don't know if it'll do great numbers on pay-per-view, but it'll definitely attract a lot of the hardcore boxing fans, because they're gonna see that Demetrius Andrade is finally gonna get a shot. So because he's getting a shot, and he's getting there this is definitely the biggest fight of his career. You know what I'm saying? So with that being considered, is Demetrius Andrade gonna rise to the occasion now that he has that one big fight that he's been looking for? You know what I'm saying? That he's been looking for, because he's been struggling to get the big fights for a while. Triple G didn't want to fight him. Canelo didn't want to fight him. I remember at one time he was even calling out Gabe Rosado. That fight didn't manifest. It was a lot of fights that Demetrius Andrade was calling out for. He even called out the big Charlo brother. That fight wasn't able to happen. That's the fight he wanted the most, in all honesty. He wanted that fight, but Jamal Charlo going through what he's going through right now. So that's not realistic. I think the last thing Jamal Charlo worried about right now is the boxing ring. You know what I mean? I think that he got a lot of demons that he need to overcome before he even get back inside the ropes. So that's a great fight. I also wanted to talk about Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? He been coming at Lomachenko, man. He been putting that pressure on Lomachenko. He been talking that talk to Lomachenko, and Lomachenko been quiet, man. I don't know, but I'm not gonna take that as him being a coward. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking his silence as weakness, because he low key could be working out something behind the scenes right now. Lomachenko has a history of fighting these younger guys, the Tiafimos and now the Devin Haney's of the world. So I don't see why he wouldn't fight a Shakur Stevenson. But you could tell Shakur Stevenson definitely getting a little impatient, because Shakur Stevenson just feels like at this particular time that he wants to prove that he's the best. So he doesn't want to fight these lower tier guys, because that's not going to prove he's the best. You know what I mean? So he's trying to get somebody to accept, so he can really, you know what I mean, prove that he's of the elite, and he's looking to be a 3-weight class world champion. You know what I mean? And Devin Haney caught it with the Regis fight right now. Gervonta Davis has been quiet. And all these other guys that's like Pitbull Cruz didn't want to fight him. There's a lot of these dudes that's not willing to look in Shakur Stevenson's direction, because he's at that particular point in his career where he's a high risk, low reward. You know what I'm saying? Like Oscar Valdez tried to avoid him for a while until Top Rank put that pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? So Shakur is definitely impatient. Equip FC. Who do you think Shakur's next opponent is? I don't know, man. I think it's going to get to the point where, they're going to make Devin Haney champion in recess, because he's not going to be able to defend that title. He's going to be too busy fighting Regis at 140. And they just going to move down the rankings, man. So we got to look at the WBC rankings at 135. Shakur is obviously going to be on the top of that list, so they're just going to go after number 2. If number 2 don't accept, they're going to have to go to number 3. So it all depends on who just says yes first. You know what I mean? But it's unlikely that it's going to be Devin Haney, and it's unlikely that it's going to be Gervonta Davis. And those are both of the fights that we want, so it is what it is. They also said that Frank Martin will accept that fight. We could possibly see him fight Frank Martin next. You know what I mean? So that's still a good fight. I mean, that's not the fight, but it's a fight that I'll be willing to watch. You know what I mean? That's a fight I'll be willing to watch. Frank Martin is a solid fighter, man. He's a solid fighter. He got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Southpaw, just like Shakur is, and he definitely got some pop as well. He got great conditioning, man. Them dudes in Derrick James stable, their conditioning is top notch, for sure, man. Definitely they be training in that gym when it be 105, 110 degrees. Is definitely paying off, because it's like they get stronger as the rounds go on. Like prior to the Crawford fight, it was like Earl gets stronger after each round. Jermell Charlo, I never seen that man tired, and he throw bombs for rounds on top of rounds on top of rounds until he stop you. You know what I'm saying? And Frank Martin in his last fight, he looked like he just got stronger as the rounds went on. So that really speaks volumes about Derrick James and what he got going on over there. His guys be in top shape. Loma can't lose twice at age 35. Fighting Shakur is risky. That's a valid point. That's definitely a valid point. But it's like him being 35 is like, do he really got time to waste fighting lower tier opposition? You know what I mean? Like he can't lose twice at 35. You know what I mean? But can he afford to put in another training camp to fight a guy who's not going to put him on that road to undisputed like he said he was? Because his whole thing was wanting to become undisputed. That's why he fought Devin Haney. He wanted to have all the belts. He wanted that under his resume, just like his stablemate Usyk. You know what I mean? And he hasn't been able to do so. So taking into consideration that he's 35, he can't lose twice. You're right. I see what you're saying. But do he have his best opportunity to get in a world title right now is facing Shakur Stevenson? And if you still share that mission of becoming undisputed, you gotta fight for that WBC belt, sir. So it's like you gotta fight that man. It's like you stuck. You stuck, bro. You know what I mean? So what is the worst division in boxing in your opinion? I've never been a fan of cruiserweight, bro. I never really liked cruiserweight. And I just feel like I'm not gonna say that because my favorite fighter is Ben Rodriguez, and he in the smaller weight classes. So I'm not gonna say that those weight classes. I just don't feel like we watch them enough. I don't feel like they get televised enough. But I mean, I even had a fighter that I was helping manage with my father. His name was Jesus Soler, He was a 105-pound dude, and his style was, bro. That kid was dynamite, man. That kid was absolute dynamite. I love watching him fight. So them lower weight class guys, those fights be low key lit. But like I said, they don't really get a lot of popularity in the United States because you're not gonna find too many dudes in the United States that weigh 108 pounds, that weigh 112 pounds. You know what I mean? It's usually be like in Asian countries and stuff like that. You'll find them people. But yeah, man, I would say cruiserweight. I'm not really a fan of cruiserweight at all. Shakur or Tank, Mark. Uh, man, that's 50-50 to me. That kind of reminds me of Crawford and Spence. Where it's like they both very capable of beating each other. Tank is explosive. He got the skill set, fast. He sets traps real well. He adjusts well. And then Shakur is like a master of distance, good combination puncher. He variates his punches real well. Good jab. He got some solid hand speed. You know what I'm saying? Um, his defense is top tier. I don't know if I mentioned that, but his defense is top tier. He understands distance real well. He'll definitely give Tank fits. And Tank, he can't start slow with somebody like Shakur because he's gonna be down on them cards. And if he's not able to hit Shakur, that's gonna be an issue. But if he hits Shakur, that'll be an issue for Shakur. So that's a 50-50 fight. It just depends on who got the better game plan and who prepares to the best of their ability. Who prepares the best for their camp. What's your opinion on Floyd hating on Inoue? I'm not gonna say he was necessarily hating on Inoue. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna jump out the window and say that. But I mean, what he said was, I mean, he took some plays out of his playbook. So he said that that Inoue was learning from him. I don't think that's necessarily hating on him. I don't know if you're talking about him insinuating about him cheating or using some type of performance enhancement drugs. That's his opinion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could be looked at as hating. I mean, that could definitely be looked at as hating. I don't really got no thoughts on it, man. That man entitled to his opinion. You know what I mean? And I feel like I mean, he justified in believing that. I feel like he justified in being suspicious. You know what I'm saying? So, but we can't prove. I mean, me and Floyd can't really prove nothing. So it's like it is what it is. I don't really have too much of an opinion on that. Who do you think is overrated and underrated in boxing right now? Underrated. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with who's underrated. I'm gonna say Ben Rodriguez is underrated. I feel like he should be a lot bigger than what he is. I think he's a special fighter, and I think because he's just in the wrong weight class, them dudes not giving him his proper respect. But when you watch this kid fight, bro, his angles, his his defense, his overall just ring intelligence is just top notch, man. Overrated. We gonna have to go with like the Rolly Romeros of the world. I feel like he's gotten the opportunities he got because of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see how he looks after Derrick James, but I feel like Ryan Garcia was definitely like a little bit overrated for not accomplishing anything. It was treating this man like he was a world champion, and this man had like WBC silver belt. You know what I mean? Um, I guess you could look in them guys' direction. I'm gonna just go with that. I was thinking Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua got some solid names on his resume, so I can't really say too much. I can't really disrespect that man like that. Stop motion MMA, what's going on, my brother? He said Loma should go to 130. Honestly, I mean, yeah, bro. Like, obviously, he undersized for the 135 division. In all honesty, I believe he's a 126, 130. I feel like he looked his best in those weight classes. I think one of his best. I think some of his best performances was in between both of those weight classes. Like his performance against Gary Russell was dope. Nicholas Walters, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Jason Sosa, those were all great performances, and they were all in between those weight classes. So I think that the best version of Loma, he might be a little older now. So I mean, not might be. He's older now, so he might not look the same in those smaller weight classes. Maybe it's harder for him to make that weight now. But you could tell at 135, he doesn't struggle to make that weight at all. He still has a lot of water in his system. He barely got abs at 135, so he's a smaller man. He's a smaller man, and he's been able to get by because of his skill set. You know what I mean? He's been able to take apart these bigger men because of his skill set. You gotta tip your head off to him for that. Anybody who could neutralize size because their skill is that much superior is dope to see. I mean, I'm not the biggest Lomachenko fan, but I'll give that man his credit. We need a podcast with you and Southpaw. Yeah, definitely, man. I'll definitely be down for that. Yeah, if we could come together and make some type of schedule, that'd be dope. But I mean, I live in Philly. He live in Chicago. So if we were to do a podcast, it would have to be like through here, through StreamYard. It wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't be able to be some type of joint where we could chop it up in person. You know what I mean? Which I would prefer it being in person. In all honesty, I think that we would click a lot better if we were in front of each other. I think that our conversation would be better if we was in front of each other. But yeah, man, I would love to do that. I would like to do a podcast. Period. That's like the long-term goal for me. Like right now, I'm just talking. I'm showing y'all what I know. You know what I mean? I'm building my audience and stuff like that, and everything's been going well. So that's a blessing. But yeah, podcast is definitely like something I want to work on once I start really getting my name out there and people start really checking in for me. Like I'm getting some solid views now, but I'm saying like once I start averaging like a certain amount and I actually start getting monetized and people start really like coming out, getting interviewed by me and stuff like that, start respecting my name and shit like that, I'll definitely get into that. I'm assuming he's not saying why, but what? What's your opinion on Regis and Haney going at it last night? Regis apparently wants to fight the same day Fury fights. Uh, yeah, man. I'm gonna side with Devin Haney on this one. Um, Regis, you could tell that he's not like the most business savvy person. You know what I mean? Which is okay because not every fighter is a businessman. A lot of people gotta understand that. There's some fighters who are more business savvy than others. There's fighters who capable of using their brain in the business field better than others. But there's a reason why there's promoters, there's managers, there's lawyers. You know what I mean? Because they have to keep the fighter in check because a lot of these guys don't come from a educated background. You know what I mean? So they need that help so they can be in the best position possible. And I just feel like Regis isn't the most business savvy dude, and he's not even the one conducting the business behind the scenes. That's Eddie Hearn. Um, and Devin Haney is his own promoter, and he gets help with his dad, Bill Haney, and stuff like that. So Bill Haney, Devin Haney, and Eddie Hearn are the ones making you know what I'm saying? Doing the moves behind the scenes. And it's just like Regis is just hearing what's being told to him by Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn not even really worried about him right now. Eddie Hearn attended to that Joshua and Helenius fight. So it's like I just feel like he just talking he talking from a real misinformed state of mind right now. And I think it'll be dumb. I feel like it's smart if they would have their own date instead of competing with another fighter's date. You know what I mean? Especially with Tyson Fury, him being a solid name, a lot of people are gonna gravitate towards this fight against Francis Ngannou. You know what I mean? So why would you compete with a fight that's that big? That shit's gonna attract the MMA fans and the boxing fans in one setting. Do you really want to go up against that? And for what I understand, Regis had a problem with the first date they was putting out. So you got a problem with the first date that they was talking about, and now you having a problem with this date. Now you want to just keep this date. Like, bro, come on, man. This is the biggest fight of your career. You always had trouble getting fights. Be appreciative that you fighting somebody as talented as Devin Haney. And regardless of whether the date is, bro, just lock in, train. And if you capable of being Devin Haney, that should boost your pay something crazy, especially if you do a rematch. You know what I'm saying? And you'll have a pretty solid name on your resume. You will have a 135 undisputed champion on your resume. And that's better than anybody you done fought. One day, Mark, keep grinding. I appreciate that notes. Thank you. I wonder why people think Tank should be on the pound for pound list when he beat nobody. Only got one real belt 5 years ago. Thoughts? I mean, pound for pound list is subjective, bro. So it's like I don't really feed in too much into that. Like everybody got their own criteria with the shit. Like there's people who put heavyweights on their pound for pound list. I don't put heavyweight on my pound for pound list because when you go back to the origin of pound for pound list, it dated all the way back to Sugar Ray Robinson. And they said that if this man was in any weight class, this skill set, like if you put Sugar Ray Robinson in a heavyweight body, he would be the heavyweight champion of the world. If you took Sugar Ray Robinson's body and put him in a strawweight's body, he would be the champion of the world. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all subjective, man. Like, everybody entitled to their own pound for pound list. If you don't like somebody else's pound for pound list and you think they shit all corny, make your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, it's no right answer. It's no right answer. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I can make my own pound for pound list, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people in the comments that's going to disagree with me. Like, yo, why you put him there? He should be here, or he shouldn't even be in the list. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all about what you prefer. Me, honestly, my first thing, similar to Trolley, I go off resume and skill set. Resume, skill set, and longevity. You know what I mean? That's what I go off of. We know Gervonta Davis' resume isn't the deepest right now, but you can't deny that man's skill set. You know what I mean? So maybe he's not in the top 5 pound for pound, but it wouldn't hurt to put him in the top 10 because, you know what I mean? A lot of these dudes on this pound for pound list resume not that deep. Like Shakur Stevenson's on it. You know what I mean? His resume, well, who's it? Jamel Herring, Joette Gonzalez, and Oscar Valdez. Like, that's what we going off of. You know what I'm saying? Like, Devin Haney's starting to build his. He got Lomachenko and stuff like that. But it's like, is it really that deep? These guys are still young. They haven't met up with each other yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's all opinion based at the end of the day. I don't feel like anybody should dig that deep into somebody else's pound for pound list. Like I said, if you don't like it, just make your own. You know what I mean? That's all. Ennis versus Earl right now. I think Ennis by stoppage, and I like both. Woo! Yeah, listen, I watch Boots coming up in the gym. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing Boots for a few years already. That's a special dude. He's always been a talented, special fighter. He always been a talented, special fighter. Anybody who goes in there against Boots is gonna have a rough time. Looking at it from a stylistic standpoint, if Boots keeps his defense sharp, you know what I mean? Don't get too greedy and is in top condition to deal with that pressure that Earl Spence is going to bring, I think he has a solid chance of beating Earl Spence. I think that Earl Spence will run into a lot of shots. I think Earl will have trouble with Boots' hand speed. I think he'll have a lot of trouble with Boots' athleticism. And I just think that Boots got a lot of tools in his toolbox. You know what I mean? And we got to see how Earl look after this fight with Terrence Crawford. This fight might have damaged him. He might not be the same, and he might be food for somebody like Jaron Ennis now. We got to see how he bounces back. But from a stylistic standpoint, I think that Boots could be very successful if he goes about it the right way. You know what I mean? It's just certain shit that he got to avoid going into fights where Earl Spence, like trading fire with fire. You know what I mean? Staying in the pocket too long. You know what I mean? Not being real sharp on the defensive end to make sure he catching them body shots, or just being completely out of range and making Earl reach. You know what I'm saying? Making Earl reach and making him pay, similar to how Crawford did. He got to be on his toes defensively, and he got to just be himself on the offensive end. Because I think that Boots, in all honesty, is like top 3, top 5 best offensive fighters in the sport right now. That's just me. Prime Floyd versus Prime Crawford at 147. That's a tough fight. But I just feel like a lot of people were like really disrespecting Floyd right now, man. Like, I don't know exactly how that fight will go. Crawford has the reach advantage. Floyd has the experience though. Floyd has the experience at the higher level. Floyd is a gifted fighter, athletically, reflexes. I think Floyd has enough to. I think that he will have enough to beat somebody like Crawford. You know what I mean? I think he'd be very. I think he could frustrate Crawford and make him get into a bag that he's not supposed to get in. I think Floyd could really frustrate him and outbox him to a unanimous decision. Because we seen Buzz struggle with like the battle of the jabs against guys like Jose Benavidez and even Kell Brook before he had gotten stopped, and it was like Floyd's jab is just on a different level. His pull counter is on a different level. But I'm sure Crawford has done Crawford has done a lot of studying up on Floyd to know his tendencies and his mistakes that he makes and stuff like that, and he could capitalize off of him. So that fight could honestly go either way, but I just feel like Floyd's just dealing with a lot of disrespect right now. And it's like, yo, y'all really forgot, like, Floyd was the man. You know what I'm saying? He was really him for over 2 decades, and that's not for no reason. You know what I mean? So I think people got to really take that into consideration. I kind of agree with Regis a bit. I don't know why Haney want to change the date. Fury fighting hours earlier, and it's in Saudi. Won't affect unless they make it a pay-per-view. We don't know if they're making it a pay. Well, I mean, it's going to be on the zone, so people going – if they're not subscribed, they're going to have to pay for a subscription, right? I don't know, man. They definitely be on different time frames, but it's like, I don't know. That is a good point. If they fight out in Saudi, it's definitely going to be on a different time schedule. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. If they fight at different times, it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? But maybe if it's a pay-per-view fight, maybe they looking at it like they going to make fans choose, like, you going to pay for this pay-per-view or you going to pay for this pay-per-view? You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Best fighter with a loss? You talking about like today, like active fighters, like best fighter with a loss? Best fighter with a loss. Best fighter with a loss. Oh, I have to look. Best fighter with a loss. I mean, you got the Wilders, you got the Earl Spencers now. Jermell Charlo, maybe Jermell. Jermell got lost. I'm gonna say Jermell. Why not? I'll give Jermell that crown. Best fighter with a loss right now. I'm gonna say that. It doesn't matter about time zone. Haney wants his own day where everyone is focused on him and no one else. That's a good perspective too. I mean, I can see both sides. For sure. He said, "Dude, Trolley a goofy clown, bro." Let's keep it peaceful in here, my brothers. Come on, man. I don't even like Haney like that. I'm not a big fan of Haney neither, but I give that man his respect. I've learned to separate the two, man. Like just because I don't like a fighter, I mean I ain't gonna talk shit about him. You know what I mean? I just not a fan of his style, but I'm gonna recognize him as, you know what I mean, one of the best. And I'll even check in on their fights. You know what I mean? Because I support boxing. I'm a fan of the sport. I'm not a fan of the individual. All like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It don't matter. One is a clown show, aka Fury, the other is a real fight. But I heard that that's gonna be a legit fight between I heard that's gonna be sanctioned. Like that's gonna be a real fight between Fury and Ngannou. Similar to how they did Floyd and Conor. I heard that's gonna be on BoxRec. But regardless, yeah, I would rather watch the real fight. Like if I had the option, I'm not watching Fury and Ngannou. I'm gonna watch Regis and I'm gonna watch Haney because that's a significant fight at the 140-pound division, and it's better for boxing. You know what I mean? Like it's a fight that makes more sense. I see what you're saying, but that clown show you mentioned will get fans from all over involved, including the UFC fans. Yeah, that's what I said. It's gonna bring the boxing fans and the UFC fans for sure. You're gonna bring them together. They're gonna do some numbers. They definitely gonna do some numbers. So yeah, maybe Haney looking at it like that, like yo, bro, that this fight about to get so much attention. If I fight, they're not even gonna pay no mind to my fight. So he like, man, let me just get my own date, so I could just, you know what I mean? They could just talk about me for this weekend. Maybe that's it. I understand Haney's point, man. I'm siding more with Haney on this one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Stop motion MMA. WBC says strip Fury. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they even put him in. Does he have a mandatory? Like, what's the situation with that? I don't even know, man. Like, who's in line? Equip FC. Floyd's interviews are always about his past. He never talks about current fighters. People are tired of these attitudes. Yeah, I even said that in my previous video. If you checked it out, like a lot of Floyd's interviews now, it's just he finds a way to bring it back to himself. Like you could ask him about Shakur. What do you think about Shakur versus Devin Haney? And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I took my head off to both of them guys, man. Hell of a fighters. Shakur's a hell of a fighter. Devin's a hell of a fighter. Um, you know, back in my day, you know, I had two of the belts, but Devin's undisputed. But you gotta understand, uh, I was unified in two divisions. And I'm like, bro, Floyd, nobody's talking about you, bro. I promise you, like, we know this already, bro. We've been following you for fucking since the 90s, bro. We know everything about you, bro. Outside of besides your personal life, everything you've done in the ring, we know, bro. Like we know. He'd be like, I don't want to take away any credit from the fighters. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the whole goal is to, find the next Floyd Mayweather or to surpass Floyd. Bro, we're not talking about anybody surpassing you, bro. We just want to know if Shakur and Haney, what's your thoughts? Bro, you got a brilliant mind. You've been in the sport for 2 decades running shit, bro. All we want to know is who you think is going to win between these two fighters, bro. Don't include yourself. Bro, you in your late 40s, bro. You're not in competition with these young dudes. I promise you that. Just answer the question, bro. And he be knowing too, because he be like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I just be like going on the tangent. Like, bro, do you lack like focus? Like you remember like you ever write an essay and it's like a topic, let's say like the topic's about Philly boxing, and then you writing the essay, and then you just start talking about some whole other shit that don't got nothing to do with Philly boxing no more. You just start talking about boxing gloves and shit. And like your teacher will write on your paper like, you lost like focus on the topic. Like that's like how Floyd is, bro. Like Floyd will be talking about some shit. Floyd will be talking about like Inoue and Javante fighting. Then he just started talking about, you know, it's all about smart investments. Like, bro, fuck the investments right now, bro. Who you think gonna win, bro? That's all I want to know. Or who you think the best right now? You was the best for 20 years, bro. Who do you think the best right now? Who you think gonna surpass you, bro? Do you think anybody gonna surpass you? Just let me know. That's all I want to know, bro. Oh my God, bro. I'll be stressing interviewing this motherfucker, bro. I'll be like, yo, just answer the question, bro. God damn. Bro, watching his interviews be stressing me out, bro. I swear it do. That shit be stressing me out, bro. I be like, yo, Floyd, bro, just wrap that shit up, bro. Just like talk about what you know what I'm saying? I don't want to knock any fighter. I don't want to knock any fighter. Uh, we're not gonna take any credit away from, bro. Tell me what you think about the fight. What did you think about the fight? Oh well, what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna throw, we're not gonna discredit any fighter. Bro. I'm not trying to get you to discredit any fucking body, bro. If you felt like Bud was just the better man that night, that's not discrediting Earl. If you felt like Earl was not himself that night, that's not necessarily shitting on Crawford. Like shit happens, bro. Not everybody gonna come in. No, nobody going to the ring 100%. I promise you that, bro. I promise you that. Like I'm telling you from experience, I've always had like little shit going on every time I fought, bro. Whether my ankle was tweaking or I got a bruised knuckle, you know what I'm saying? Fucking shoulder problems, lower back pain, all that shit, bro. I know how this shit go, bro. I ain't fight on y'all level. I wasn't no fucking world champion. I ain't even win the nationals in the amateurs because I got sick before all that shit happened. But I'm telling you, no fighter going to the ring 100%. So if you say like a nigga drained or something, then that's what. If you feel like that's what happened, then that's what it is, bro. Shit. But yeah, man, I got a little bit out of character and shit. But no, that's how it really be with him, bro. I try to not even watch Floyd interviews no more because you bring up anybody, bro, he gonna find a way to bring that shit back to him, bro. You gotta understand. You gotta understand. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Chill. Chill, bro. Stick to the topic, my man. But yeah, nah, Floyd definitely be doing the most. Notes. He definitely be doing the most. Canelo is gonna see what Lions Only is all about. Bro, I don't know if I'm just being biased, but I honestly think that Jermell has a good chance to win, bro. It just depends on his approach. Like, in all honesty, I think I don't think that Jermell should come in at the full weight limit. You know what I'm saying? I think he should come in light against Canelo Alvarez and be real, have his legs real nice and, you know what I'm saying, conditioned. You know what I mean? For the movement. You know what I'm saying? Canelo does not like fighting guys who have good movement. And when you watch Jermell Charlo early on in his career, he was the outboxer and the big Charlo was the puncher when they were both with Ronnie Shields. When Jermell transitioned on to Derrick James, he became the more, you know what I'm saying, like flat-footed, sitting on his punches, being the aggressor. He completely changed the style up. When you watch his fight against Vanez Martirosyan, and then you look at his fights against like Tony Harrison, two totally different guys, but that doesn't necessarily mean that initial style left Jermell. He still got that in the toolbox. He just didn't feel the need to use it. I think that if he keeps Canelo moving, like if he keeps him off balance, I think he could outbox him, man. I honestly think he could outbox him. I think he could outbox Canelo, but his conditioning gotta be top notch. Like them later rounds, he still gotta have that gas tank full. And he gotta pick his spots where he let his hands go. You know what I mean? Let his hands go, and then he gotta keep his defense sharp because Canelo can be tricky with he could slip and counter real fast, he could time you real good, he could set a track that you're not even paying attention to. You got to be sharp on his defense. His conditioning got to be A1. I think, in all honesty, that he can mix it up. He can mix up the aggression with the boxing just to keep Canelo like guessing. You know what I'm saying? But I think Jamal could do it. I think he could do it, especially with what helps is Canelo is honestly on the decline right now. So I think that helps. Mel can honestly stop Canelo. Bro, I can't even picture Canelo getting stopped, bro. Like, I can't even see that shit. But I couldn't see Earl getting stopped neither. You seen what happened. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just so hard to see that because I seen this man get hit by Triple G and didn't even budge. And Triple G was a fucking hell of a puncher, bro. He still is. Shit. That shit don't go nowhere. But I seen him get hit by Cotto, wouldn't budge. I seen this man get hit by Triple G, didn't budge. I'm like, damn, bro, this dude got a fucking chin on him, bro. Mel can't fight emotional. Yeah, he's an emotional dude, so he definitely got to be locked in, and he got to maintain his composure this whole fight. Him trying to fight fire with fire against somebody who's already acclimated at 168-pound division, them dudes punching different up there. You got to be careful. Definitely got to be on his P's and Q's from a mental aspect. He need to be ready on all aspects, bro. All aspects to beat Canelo. And then you gotta take into consideration that them scorecards already you already be down 4-0 going against Canelo. So you really gotta dominate. Anyway, coming back to the US next year, hopefully 2 fights to defend 2-time undisputed. Is that official? Like is he coming to the US or you think he coming to the US? Cause in all honesty, he might just cash that dude out to come fight in Japan again. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that his fan base in Japan is crazy. So I don't see why he would leave. Tim Zoo, the new email champ. That's a fact. Sir. That boy an email champ. Tim Tszyu ain't fight no fucking body for that WBC belt, bro. I don't know why they was pushing Jamel so hard to fight this man as if like he been stomping shit at 154. Did he fight a Sebastian Fundora? Did he fight a Erickson Lubin? Shit. Did he fight a J-Rock when he was in the division? He fought a Wash Tony Harrison. He fought a Carlos Ocampo, who was getting stopped at 147 in the first round. Then who else he fought? He fought he didn't even fight a Brian Mendoza, bro. He didn't even fight a Brian Mendoza. This man did not fight anybody. He fought a Jeff Horn, bro, who got stopped at 147 too. In Crawford's first fight at 47, he stopped Jeff Horn. Bro, it's like Tim Tszyu, all right, he an upcoming name. He a contender right now. You know what I mean? His momentum hot because of what he did to Tony Harrison and shit like that. But it's like, bro, do you really deserve that shot for undisputed? Not for one belt, for all four of them? I don't know, man. I don't think Tim Tszyu proven enough. I gotta see him fight Jesus Ramos or Brian Mendoza, and that really show me where you at. For real. I think Crawford should move up soon. Crawford need to move up to 54 and pursue that Tim Tszyu fight so he could be that 4-weight class world champion. I think he'll wash Tim Tszyu. He beat a washed up Tony Harrison and the gatekeeper. He a hype job. That's facts, bro. That's facts. You a hype job, bro. They be dudes that be really proving themselves and people still call them a hype job. You ain't proved nothing, bro. You ain't beat nobody that we care about. Bro, you a hype job, bro. You got prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Fight somebody and prove me wrong. And I got no problem coming on here and being like, yo, I was wrong. Like Tim Tszyu the truth. But until then, you a hype job, bro. Crawford might entertain a Tim Tszyu fight just because he should. He should, bro. Why not? Why not come into that Jamel Crawford? Why not come into that Jermell Charlo fight with a belt? Why not? Yo, I beat your mandatory. Now you guys see me. I did you a favor. I got rid of your the guy that you know what I'm saying, gave a belt up to. I beat him. You want to go for undisputed again? Let's go. He should go pursue that fight ASAP. And him having the WBO title, if he move up, I think he'll automatically be Tim Tszyu mandatory. Tim Tszyu will have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And I think Crawford will be the A side going into that fight too. So that'd be beneficial for him. He could do it. Melly is an underrated counterpuncher. People think he has all power. He definitely got some tools. I've been watching Jamel for years, bro. He definitely got tools. He a skilled dude. It's just that Derek James, he more the type guy who keep his defense real tight, don't really waste much energy, pick his punches. You know what I mean? Like, he don't dig to the body. You know what I mean? He just changed his style up. But just because he changed his style up don't mean that he forgot all the previous stuff that he was doing. Jamel definitely got a skill set, man. He's a pound for pound, top 5 pound for pound fighter in my opinion. Jamel definitely a dog. He showed he was a dog. That Charles Hadley fight, he showed he was a dog. When he went against Brian Castano, both times he showed he was a dog. Tony Harrison, he showed he was a dog. Even with his loss, he showed he was a dog, bro. All right, Drewley. He said, yeah, Bob Arum already confirmed at least one time next year he fight for Undisputed in Japan, November, and then hopefully Luis Neri here in the U.S. Man, Neri, bro. I haven't heard from Neri since Brandon Figueroa folding not too long ago. That was a while back. I haven't really heard too much from Luis Neri since then. But, I mean, I don't think Luis Neri is anybody close to Stephen Fulton's caliber, so if anyway, he should have a problem with Neri. But, all right, y'all. I've been on here for an hour, almost an hour and 20 minutes, almost on here for 80 minutes, y'all, chopping it up with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming through and staying consistent on the live. It was, what's that shit called? It was going between 7 to 11 viewers consistently throughout the show, which is pretty dope, man. I appreciate you guys checking in. Good conversations too, man. Y'all definitely keep me y'all definitely keep me on the toes with the boxing talk. With all the questions y'all asked, those was great questions. And there was definitely some questions there that made me think a little bit. So it let me know that y'all guys are knowledgeable as well. And I'm appreciative of you guys coming through. Stay tuned to my channel, man. I'll be coming out with videos every day, 1 to 2 videos a day. I'm looking to do lives more frequently. It just be hard when I have people here and it be pretty loud. And I feel like if people being loud and I can't give y'all the best quality, it's best not to do it at all. So, yeah, man. I appreciate you guys stopping through. Feel free to subscribe. Great channel, Mazuma. I appreciate that. Homie. Love Notes. I appreciate you, bro. Equip. Appreciate you, man. You guys been y'all kept this live on y'all put this live on y'all back. I appreciate you guys. Mazuma Nation definitely in the building. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, man. Yo, check out MazumaMerch.com, bro. Check out MazumaMerch.com. Those designs are 100% made by me for the fighter and the boxing fan. It's been pretty successful, so I'm hella appreciative for that. Follow me on social media, Instagram at mark.mazuma, mark.mazuma. And then if you guys want to follow my boxing, my coaching page, it's at Coach Mazuma. You know what I'm saying? And that gives you an insight. I'm not too active on the coaching page. I post like when my guys fight and stuff like that. I'll let y'all know what's going on with my training career. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys want to get more into detail with what I got going on over there, feel free to follow me. Check out Mazuma Merch, man. Y'all niggas won't regret it, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in on the live as always. I'll be back with another video tomorrow. And that's about it, man. I appreciate you guys as always. I keep saying the same shit, but yeah, I'm very grateful. You should link the merch to the about page, bro. All right, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna actually do that as soon as I get off of this. But this is Mazuma TV. Shout out to Mazuma Nation, the Mazuma Mob. I'm out of here, man. Peace. Y'all have a great night.